everybody, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Sarah here with you, and the very much demanded tutorial on how to make an animation. The whole idea behind this animation is that I was thinking of making something like a Rasengan movie, but it's not gonna be something animated. All I'm gonna do is just actually putting all my episodes together, and then, you know, like one big chunky episode, like a movie. And I'm kind of editing it, you know. Here's the very dramatic intro. But anyways, I was just giving you a look on the idea of the animation itself. So I will show you all the first steps you need to do to make an animation like this. Okay, so this is like the amount of images. You can see this is the amount of paper that I drew all of my images on here. So you can see the whole idea is actually that I'm drawing one image after the other. It would appear better if I showed you like this again. 1, 2, 3, you know, or there's an image under here, so you can get the picture. I'm just drawing pictures and I'm just following the same motion, like so, which creates an animation. And when this is really put up in a very high speed, people think it's animated. Very simple idea of animation. Let me show you another one. Here's another one that will be a lot better for you guys. You feel it's moving, right? So this is really the whole idea behind this animation. Not done by Flash or any of this kind of flashy stuff. So what I've used in the whole idea of making this animation was just normal printing paper, because they have like a certain degree of transparency. I'm not sure if this is appearing or not, but you can actually see the image back here after there it's inked. So what I do is I draw one image, and then I just put another page like so, and I just trace the whole image and try to kind of close the eye or whatever motion that I'm doing. I'm trying to reanimate it, to animate it by just closing the eye or making it bigger or whatever, and trying to keep the frame of the face. Unfortunately, it's not neat as the anime, because the anime is like have a lot of equipment and stuff. You see, and this is the technique they do anime. I kind of went for some time in an animation company, and this is the way that they animated stuff. Anyways, this is the whole idea, but you gotta make sure that your drawing is kind of still. And I'm gonna show you how just to do that. So this is my panel, okay? This is the one that I draw on all the time. Make sure that whatever panel you're doing, you're just sticking like duct tapes here and here, and also the paper that you're working with here and here, and you just gotta put those two together like this, so that they will be almost very much over each other. So when you're tracing and stuff like that, the whole idea behind duct tapes is because when you're tracing, you want your paper to be still under, so the paper that's under, which is already inked, wouldn't like move a lot, and so like that. Oh, the whole reason why I did the whole idea of the frame is because when I scan my pictures, I want to make them as equal as possible. The whole idea of making the frame, I don't want to like draw the whole image or draw the whole page. It's just gonna take a lot. So what I'm doing is I'm actually drawing a part and ignoring the rest. And so if I'm using paint or to cut the extra parts here or here or here, I wouldn't like be wondering what parts that I need to cut. I already have lined it from the beginning, so I know what I'm gonna cut and I know what I'm gonna take. Mine may be like a little difference, like couple of millimeters difference, but that's all. When you're scanning, there will be like a frame that will appear. I normally would like take the frame around this line and just cut the image the way I want it, or the way that I framed it. and then I have my image, and of course you have to number your drawings because very much is important. So you just have to number your images so you know which one is like the first one or the second one. Just putting a number is very helpful. Okay, after scanning the images and cutting them to whatever size you want, you're going to have them like in a folder or something. Here's all your images. That's the one that you've used. So here's an image. If I go like I'm going like forward and stuff, forward and backward, you can see actually the whole idea behind the animation. 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, as it goes faster, it starts to animate, and it creates this kind of animation feeling. So this is the time when you have to use like the Movie Maker. Let me just import some pictures and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I just imported a couple of the pictures, and this is a length of or let's say half a second. Okay, so I have like my images 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 2, 1, because I did already like the girl is closing her eyes. Okay, if I go back like 3, 2, 1, she's like opening her eyes, which is really cool effect. You don't have to like draw opening and closing eyes. It, you know, just the going descendant and ascendant will do the trick. So, how do you see it when the animation is 0.5? It feels like a very slow animation. But when you like squeeze, like for me, I like to work with 0.13 seconds. Let's make it here for 0.10 for the purposes of demonstration. You're just gonna squeeze every image like so, which is gonna take some time. So it really does take some time. Now let's see, after we've squeezed every image to 0.1 second, how it's gonna look. You see that? Let me just show you this in another way. Okay, so after copying the images a couple of times, this is the effect that you're going to get. So, it's not actually animated. The whole idea is that the picture length is around 0.1 second, which is like 1/10 of the second, which is extremely fast. Which create the whole idea behind this animation. In Vesta, the minimum length is 0.07 and XSpeed 0.13 seconds. Both of them creates that kind of illusion. My animation was, I did it on 0.13 seconds, so every image is like stayed for 0.13 seconds. You can squeeze it, you know, but the like 0.7 I tried it, it's extremely fast, so it just looks weird. It doesn't look like an animation, it looks something else. But this is anyway the same way of drawing classic animes. All the animes, all the 2D animations is done like this, unless you're working with Flash, which is something else. It's kind of a 2D animation, but it's not exactly the normal or the traditional 2D animation that people are working with. I think a lot of people liked it because it was all drawn on hand from top to bottom and animated by the Movie Maker, which will make it for people who are actually good at drawing and good at Movie Maker. It will be extremely easy for them to do just movies like this. But I gotta tell you, this thing takes a long time. I did a lot of repetitions in my animation because if I would do it like from top to bottom complete, you know, or if I did it like every scene with a certain look, it would definitely take more time than this. So maybe this took for me more than 10 hours in complete finishing, and that's really long for just a 30-second animated, which is not even colored. Even I gotta tell you, the coloring does take a lot of time. That's why I'm sticking just to inking. And sometimes the coloring won't like have that nice effect. So if you want to do coloring, I advise you use like Photoshop or something, but don't really use like warp colors or warp pencils or pencil colors or whatever, because it's gonna destroy the whole drawing. Just keep it plain and simple with inking lines, which will take a lot of time, because imagine if you're going to have to color 40 images or so just to make a 30-second animation. Is going to take a long time. That's why I don't do a lot of animations, because it takes a long time, it's very tricky, and it's so hard to just copy and just follow the whole thing. As I said, this will be like an intro for some of my videos, and a way of getting published is after we're doing Roses and Guns, is just putting them in a whole chunky episode, making one giant movie, or I don't know, 1 or 2 parts or whatever, giving it to people, and that will be like a Roses and Guns movie. And that was the whole idea of this intro. It's 30 seconds, really cool, fast, and of course with the awesome music of Final Fantasy XII, it really does work in a lot of ways. So once after you're done with your storyboard, you can make this. I hope this tutorial was very useful. It's not something that a lot of people would do, you guys. I know people now who are animating are using Flash. It's much easier than doing this traditionally. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Sorry about the whole motion sickness, but I don't have like those weird programs that records what you're doing on the screen, so I hope this will do. See you later, you guys.